Afternoon, this is Papa Builder Things here at Myshire Farm, and Zach's got us all on if you want to go to Myshire Farm, you want to look for the playlist, and if you're listening for that kind of stuff, how to build something, it's easier to find it if you just go to the playlist, and it has Papa Builder Things on the playlist. This is listed as a flight pen. We now call it our aviary. We have a really nice video on how we built that many years back, and just wanted to kind of do that. In the last video we were in the main barn. We were showing you how we clean out the cages now, where the poop goes into a gutter and the water rushes down and washes it away. This video we're going to show you where that goes and how we recycle it. The problem with the Shire here is we don't have a whole lot of water. We're up on top of a giant hill. Geographically, we're on one of the biggest aquifers in the world, but we're just too high up on the hill to get down to it without hitting gas and everything else. So we have a real water problem here. The way we've solved our water problem is with cisterns. So we have 3 dedicated cisterns here, one for the farm animals and what used to be the garden, the new garden. The new quail barn sets on the old farmstead, homestead garden, and so we have a huge tank in the ground down here. We have a tank at the main house, and we also have a tank at Zach's home. So that's how we get around. We have about 75 gallons in our well, and once that 75 gallons is gone, it needs to recover. So it's a problem. So we don't have water to waste. I guess I've said all that because we don't have water to waste flushing the toilet in the quail barn. So by toilet I mean the quail poop. So I had to come up with a way to recycle this water. So this is how we did it. This was all very much an experimental idea. We had to build it all complete to even see if it was going to work. There was a lot on the line, and we didn't know what the quail poop would look like in the tank, how we were going to get it out, what we were going to do with it if we did get it out, and we didn't know a lot of stuff, and we just kind of had to have a little faith here. Actually, it was about 10,000 gallons of faith. So these tanks that we're buying are used gasoline tanks. They're a single line tank. Now it's required to have a double line tank. So they had to take all these single tanks out, and they're kind of a pain to get rid of apparently, because we can buy these things local for $250, we'll say, delivered. So basically we get the thing free. He just wants money for the delivery. So this tank is from here all the way to that brown box. So that's how long this 10,000 gallon tank is. It is 8 foot in diameter and is below grade. This is a full-size barrel that sits on top of that 10,000 gallon tank. So it's roughly 30 some inches below grade. So you can kind of see here this black pipe. It's a corrugated 18-inch pipe or so that comes out of the gutter and into that tank. It makes a hard dive into the tank. I would show you this, but it's gross. So the poop goes into this 10,000 gallon tank that's full of water, and the poop goes in, which makes the water rise up. So it comes out of a 2-inch pipe that kind of goes into the water and then down. It's because I don't want to suck goo off the top. I want to get into the dermis of the water, really. So this pit here that's the top of the, approximately top of the tank coming out, and it goes into this little holding tank, and it can divert this way, that 2-inch line that comes toward me, or it can go into a leach line that goes that way. That other line, that other 6-inch line, is an overflow from the next batch that we go to. So basically it goes, it's just a 1-inch line. It's a 2-inch hole, but we've got it reduced down to 1 inch. So it comes out of that tank slowly, and it goes into this 2-inch line, and then it gravity feeds into here. Now we have these sidewalls up. We lower it down in the wintertime. We have 5 Gaylords in here. So these are all 250-gallon Gaylords. And if you look close, in between each of these Gaylords is a 2-inch pipe. You can see it kind of leaking. See it leaking out? That's because Dear Papa left the water running forever today, as I was showing somebody else how it works. But that's okay, because now you get to see it. So what happens is that poopy water that's here goes into these tanks, gravity, and these are designed to be settling tanks. So the discoloration will settle out, go into the next one, settle out, go into the next one, settle out. And the last two, we have aeration in there, and that's that pump you hear running. So we got a, oh geez, you can't think of the words now. But we have air in 2, anaerobic, that's the words. So we've got different kinds of bacteria working to clean this water up. So gravity feeds into there, gravity feeds out through that bottom white pipe where it's dripping out, goes into another sub pump pit, and then the sub pump will say, ooh, I'm full, and it turns on and pumps the water into our water tower. So you can see how clear that water is, and you kind of seen how dirty it was on the last video. And so it gets even clearer as it goes through these clarifier tanks. Now it dumps into this tank, and now this tank is about 9 foot down. So 9 and 8 is 17, maybe 8 foot down. It's about 8 foot down. It holds about 5,000 gallons. We have 2 sub pumps in there. One pump is for the north side, and where the switch is that I turned on in the last video. There's another switch that I would turn on if you were doing the south side for 5 cages. So this being one, this being the other, these are electric lines that service all of this stuff. This was just a war zone. I mean, we had to have huge track hose in here digging, what is it, 8 and 3, 11 foot pits, 8 foot pits, 9, whatever I said, however deep this was, pit, and it just was a war zone. We're finally getting it backfilled because it settles, and backfilled and it settles. The construction of this, if I'm not running out of time, you can see they're 4x4s and then 2x that are screwed to the 4x4s. But what really holds these up, what's holding these walls up, you see these giant bolts, are dead men. So back here, if you look back, if I can show you, back here we have a board that's in this excavation that goes all the way down, and that all thread ties to this board. So when you put all the weight on this board, then that's what holds these walls straight. If you didn't have anything holding these walls up, what are called the dead men, then they would just simply cave in. So you want to make sure when you're engineering something like this that you call me or call an engineer, better yet. So we catch the rainwater off of the barn, off the north side of this barn, and it is significant, and so that water will go into this holding tank. So anything that's dirty that's in here, before it would overflow, which the overflow is over here, this is the overflow, this is the secondary overflow, we have another primary overflow, but they both end up in the same place. Before it would overflow, it gets diluted, so any impurities that we'd have in this after we've done all of the things we've done, gets diluted by the rainwater before it goes into our dry creek bed, which turns into a river in the spring if it rains real hard. Now, I anticipated that when that is fully up to crust level that we might get water in here, and we did. Water came all the way up to the top of these gaylords. So we've got a drain in there, which is a drain there, which is a gravity drain. We can't get it too low because the creek's not that deep. And we were really scared about having all this water everywhere. Water even backed up into the barn. The water got so high, but when it was gone, it was gone. It just you couldn't even hardly tell it had happened. So that was a big what if, and it did happen, and it wasn't a problem. We recently had these agricultural guys come suck the tank out. We may want to do that ourselves sometime where we can compost this material, because we've always composted our quail poop. That'll be the next video, our composting and what we do with our mortalities and this and that. So I'm really missing this compost, because not only does it have the quail poop, which is a good poop, but it has all of the digested food and the undigested food that they wasted. And turns out what was in the bottom of the tank really looked like food, and digested and undigested. So with all of the minerals and nutrients that we have in our feed, that compost is off the chart. I had it tested a couple years ago, and it was, they asked the question, you know, what exactly are we testing here? Because it was just so high in everything, and it's mostly the micronutrients, which is the most important things to me. So that's Pop at Myshire Farm. Be sure to watch us on YouTube. Click the like button, share button, the little bell, and every Sunday at 7 o'clock on this YouTube channel, we're on live. Zach most of the time answering your questions about quail. Once in a while I'm on. He'll give you foreknotice to when I'll be on, what Sunday night I might be on, to answer any of your building questions. So I do appreciate you watching, and have a great day.